Namaste. Tonight I'm going to read Volume 2, Book 2, Rudra Samhita, Part 4, Chapter 13, The Birth of Ganesha in the Shiva Puran. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Surya Kuti Samaprabha Niraviganam Kunavadeva Sarvakaya Susharadome Kadantaya Vinima Vakratundaya Danti Prachodayat Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vidyaruvinna Sanshraramasa Namaste Namaste Namo Om Namo Namo Jaganmata Vidyapradayani Mata Saraswati Namo Namo Amara Kalyani Mata Saraswati Namaste Om Hamsa Hamse Vedami Paramamsa Dimo Hamsa Prachodayat. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Hari Om Tat Sat. Sutta said, on hearing the marvelous, excellent story of the slay of Taraka, thus Narada was highly delighted, and he lovingly asked Brahma. Narada said, O Lord of gods and people, O storehouse of Shiva's cult, the excellent story of Kartikeya, far better than nectar, has been heard by me. Now I wish to hear the excellent story of Ganesha, the details of his divine nativity. Auspicious of the auspicious. Sutta said, on hearing the words of Narada, the great sage Brahma became delighted and replied to him, remembering Shiva. Brahma said, due to the difference of kalpas, the story of the birth of Ganesha is told in different ways. According to one account, he is born of the great Lord, his head looked at by Shanidev was cut off, and an elephant's head was put on him. Now we narrate the story of the birth of Ganesha in Svetakalpa, when his head was cut off by the merciful Shiva. No suspicion need be entertained, O sage. Shiva is certainly the cause of enjoyment and protection. He is the Lord of all. Shiva is possessed as well as devoid of attributes. It is by his divine sport that the entire universe is created, sustained and annihilated. O excellent sage, listen to what is relevant to the context with attention. A long time has elapsed after marriage of Shiva and his return to Kailasa that Ganesha was born. Once the friends Jaya and Vijaya conferred with Parvati and discussed. All the gunners of Rudra carry out the order of Shiva. They all, Nandi, Bringi and others, are in a way our own. Brahmatas are numerous, but none of them can be called our own. They all stand at the portals, subservient to Shiva's behest. They also may be called our own, but our mind is not in unison with them. Hence, O sinless lady, one our own must be created. Brahma said, Goddess Parvati, to whom this charming suggestion was made by the two friends, considered it wholesome and resolved to carry it out. Once, when Parvati was taking her bath, Sada Shiva rebuked Nandini and came into the inner apartment. The mother of the universe, seeing the untimely arrival of Shiva in the midst of her bath and toilet, stood up. The beautiful lady was very shy then. The goddess decided that her friend's suggestion would be conducive to her good and was so enthusiastic. At the time when the incident occurred, Parvati, the great Maya, the great goddess, thought as follows. There must be a servant of my own who will be expert in his duties. He must not stray from my behest even a speck. Thinking thus, the goddess created a person with all the characteristics out of the dirt from her body. He was spotless and handsome in every part of his body. He was huge in size and had all brilliance, strength, and valor. She gave him various clothes and ornaments. She blessed him with benediction and said, You are my son, you are my own. I have none else to call my own. Thus addressed the person, bowed to her and said, Ganesha said, What is your order? I shall accomplish what you command. Thus addressed, Parvati replied to her son. Parvati said, O dear, listen to my words. Work as my gatekeeper from today. You are my son. You are my own. it is not otherwise. There is none else who belongs to me. O good son, without my permission, no one by any means shall intrude my apartment. I tell you the fact. Brahma said, O sage, saying this, she gave him a hard stick. On seeing his handsome features, she was delighted. Out of love and mercy, she embraced and kissed him. She placed him armed with a staff at her entrance as the gatekeeper. Then the son of the goddess of great heroic power stayed at the doorway, armed with a staff, with a desire to do what was good to her. Thus placing her son at the doorway, Parvati began to take bath with her friends, unworried. O excellent sage, at this very moment, Shiva, who is eagerly indulgent and an expert in various divine sports, came near the door. Not knowing that he was Lord Shiva, the consort of Parvati, Ganesha said, O sir, without my mother's permission, you shall not go in now. My mother has entered the bath. Where are you going now? Go away. Saying thus, he took up his staff to ward him off. On seeing him, Shiva said, O foolish fellow, whom are you forbidding? O wicked knave, don't you know me? I am Shiva, none else. Thereupon Ganesha beat Shiva with a staff. Shiva, expert in various sports, became infuriated and spoke to his son thus. Shiva said, You are a fool. You do not know that I am Shiva, the husband of Parvati? O boy, I go in my own house. Why do you forbid me? Brahma said, When Lord Shiva tried to enter the house, Ganesha became infuriated, O Brahmin, and struck him with his staff once again. Then Shiva too became furious. He commanded his own gunners, Who is this fellow here? What is he doing? O gunners, inquire. After saying this, the furious Shiva stood outside the house. The Lord, following the worldly conventions, is capable of various wonderful sports. Footnotes. (163) Shani, the planet Saturn, is called the evil-eyed. Kru Rudras, for his glance, casts an evil effect. The present context refers to a legend of Parvati, who, proud of her son, Ganesha asked Shani to look at him. Shani looked at the child's head, was burnt to ashes. Parvati felt greatly distressed, and Brahma offered consolation, advising her to replace the head with the first she could find, and that was an elephant's. Sweta Kalpa, a short form of Sweta Varaha Kalpa, is one of the 30 Kalpas. According to the Puranas, the legends of one Kalpa are repeated in the other. In this process, some modifications in the accounts are bound to happen with the changes in the happenings. The legend of Ganesha, as recorded in this chapter, belongs to Sweta Varaha Kalpa. It is distinct from the one referred to above. 165. According to this account, Ganesha was born of the scruff of Parvati's body without the intervention of Shiva. Hence today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Om Prabhu Prananatham Vyum Veshwanatham Jagannatanatham Sarantabhajan Bhutipitam Veshwaram Bhutanatham Shivam Shankaram Shambhishanavide Om Kapura Kauram Karunavartaram Sansarasaram Bhujagendrahadam Sadavasantam Hridar Vinde Bhavam Bhavami Saitam Namami Om Nama Parvati Pate Hara Hara Mahadeva Ki Jai Om Hunjam Samburva Samdram Makame Jame Sukan Bhashtivaranam Urvarakamiva Bandhan Mirchoksham Swaha Om Sachum Om Om Janti Mangalakali Padrakali Kapalini Durga Kashmashi Padatri Swaha Swadha Namastate Om Tuya Mata Chapitatmaya Tuya Bandusha Chasakatmaya Tuya Vidya Dravinang Tuya Sarvam Mamedeva Devam Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat.